Today we're talking about the 5 things that are holding back most INFJs. And you might listen to that list and say, I'm aware of all of this. Like, what's new about this? But the problem is that we really look at it at surface level, even we as INFJs. We hear one thing and we imagine how this looks like for everybody else. But for us, it all comes from a different perspective. So let's look into those 5 things that are holding back most INFJs and how you can not only understand how they play a part in your life specifically, but how you can turn it all around. Before we get started, I want to remind you I've created a brand new checklist for you for your 2025 goals. They're based on the 5 pillars to an INFJ Epic life. You can download the checklist through a link in the description, and then you can not only set your goals, you can review them, you can track them, and really kick off your INFJ Epic life. Number 1, overthinking and perfectionism. And if you think about this, it's not the perfectionism everybody else is talking about. It's not that we're always detail-oriented when it comes to written assignments or when it comes to doing accounting work or anything like this. Our need for perfectionism comes from our vision. It comes from the way we would like to see the world. And everything that falls short to that seems like failure. And so therefore we're not taking a step forward. But the truth is that as long as we hold on to that fantasy, to that ideal world, we're not going to change it. We really have to get to a place where we say, you can turn your dreams into reality, but you first have to wake up. And as long as we really hold ourselves to that high standard and everything that falls short to that, every step that we take, everything that we produce, as long as that happens, we're going to be dissatisfied, then of course we're not going to take the first step. We as INFJs, we have to take action. But most importantly, we have to take action in an imperfect way. And we have to take action in the areas that matter to us. So those are the things we focus on in Bootcamp, in my one-on-one coaching, even in the audio guide. This is the basis of it. Recognize what matters in your life, like define it in your unique way, and then take action, although you know it's going to suck in the beginning. You can have your vision as your North Star. This can be the perfect dream, the perfect imagination, and you're going to work towards that. But what we want is to take a step that makes our life better than it was yesterday, and not a step that necessarily has to be our vision come true right now. The second thing that is holding us back is people pleasing. And what so many INFJs struggle with is that they feel they have to decide. Either I'm going to be myself and I'm going to love myself and accept myself, which inevitably means, of course, I want to help people, or I'm going to become a monster, somebody that I don't want to be, somebody who's completely cold and who has no compassion for other people. The truth is, you don't have to give up on who you are. You don't have to give up on the fact that you love to help people. But you also have to understand that people will help themselves more if you set loving boundaries. You have to be an example of what it means to take care of yourself. And once you've established that, once you've made this your number one priority, then you can still help people. But you can do this in a regulated way. You can do it in a way where you don't feel like you're taking advantage of. You don't have to look for other people to validate who you are and what you do, because so often we feel like, I'm doing so much for you. I have so much compassion for you. I have so much love to give. And what is the thank you here? That you keep on taking and you don't appreciate it at all? The truth is, people will not give back to you what you give out. It's just not possible. They might, but most likely takers are going to take. And they're not doing this because they're bad people. They're doing this because they're in pain. And they're not going to stop because people who are in pain can't validate their own feelings. And then they surely can't validate yours. They can't recognize what you're doing for them and really appreciate that. So it's on us to set those boundaries. And this is one of those things we hone in so deeply in Bootcamp. It's one of the main things I work with my one-on-one clients as well. As INFJs, this is really our groundwork, our boundaries, because we have so much power. We have so many ideas. We have so many ways of helping people. But if we get depleted, there's nothing left. And you don't have to give up your good-hearted nature. You don't have to give up being an idealist or improving the world. You just have to do it from a place of firm boundaries that work for you. And it is easier said than done, but that's what we work on in our community. And it's something we continuously work on, because once this becomes a habit, it's nothing you have to think about. It becomes your new way of living. It's a complete transformation of where your boundaries lay. This really can be changed. So if you're somebody who continuously gets in situations and you feel like people are taking advantage of you, although you just mean good and you're not trying to harm anybody, then trust me, we need to work on your boundaries. If you want my help, remember there's so many ways of getting that help. One of them is through our Bootcamp community. It's a growing group of INFJs that continuously evolves on their journey. If you want to work with me one-on-one, the audio guide, there's so many options and free material. Everything that you might need when it comes to taking that step and wanting my help with it, you can find through the links in the description. Number 3, the fear of being seen. And this is not about being seen as this image that we present. We can do this. A lot of us have learned how to present this great idea of who we could be in front of other people, how they would want us to be. We can become very artistic in the way we show up. We can be very friendly. We can be whatever we want to be, right? You've heard of INFJs being chameleons, but none of that is actually who we are. These are skill sets. Who we are those aspects of us that we say, this is going to be part of my life no matter what I do, no matter who I interact with. This is my identity. And yes, there are parts that can shift, but there's also a core that has to be not up for debate. So when it comes to the fear of being seen, we cannot avoid the pain that comes with it. We have to take it on. Meaning when you show up authentically, I can guarantee you a lot of people are not going to get it. There will be judgment. There will be some kind of reaction that you don't like. But the truth is, all of those reactions are the reactions you feel within yourself. Because if people reject you for things that you don't care about, you don't have those people in your life anymore. They voluntarily just move out of your life and you don't even know what happened. And so the point here is to say, I'm going to go towards that. This is not only important when it comes to relationships, but this is also important when it comes to your prosperity as well as your purpose. None of this can be really fulfilling if it doesn't come from your authentic self. And as long as you keep it hidden, you will always feel like something is missing. And that is something that is evident in every one of my offers. Because once we tap into this, once you get over this first hump, once you know, okay, I've seen the worst, I've confronted the worst within me, and I'm not just doing this in my mind, I'm actively taking action. I'm seeing every single step happen, and I confront myself with all of those things that I'm most afraid of. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes. And you see examples of other INFJs doing it. You see examples of me doing it. And through the communication, you get a sense of, oh, this isn't so bad. I'm not alone in this. And once the acceptance is there, then you start getting a great sense of self-confidence based on the fact that you continuously show up in your authentic self and you allow other people to see you. Just because we have skills to portray things, that does not mean that that is who we truly are. That's not about being seen. Being seen is about being willing to show those parts to the world that might not be acceptable to everybody, but that are an essential point in us ever getting true connection, right? We want belonging, and that happens through us showing up and allowing ourselves to be seen. Number 4, absorbing others' emotions. So when I was in college, for example, I knew absolutely everything about my INFP best friend. Her entire world was part of my world. I felt her emotions, I felt her art. It was just something that felt very natural because you have to imagine we were studying all day together. We were, partying together. Like it was just something that was so part of how it is supposed to be. But now it's nothing like that. And the truth is that I recognize that although I can absorb others' emotions and I can get a lot of benefit through that, I can help others through that, All that includes that you also absorb others' negativity, you absorb their way of living that, although it might be beautiful or interesting, is probably not what is best for you because that's their world, that's their way of going through life, that's their way of living reality. And so understanding that just because you're in a situation where you feel like, I cannot choose this, I just absorb everything around me, this doesn't have to stay your reality. And take it from me, I'm somebody who's done the change myself. I'm somebody who's, helped over, how many are we now? Like 400 people in Bootcamp do those things, people that have been in my private coaching. This is not how it has to stay. And as long as we believe that we just have to deal with the fact that we absorb everything, we're never going to get out of that rat race, which is I'm barely keeping my head above water because there's so much energy coming towards me. And all I'm focused on is how can I make your pain go away because your pain is actually my pain. The solution here is to increase your energy to such an extent that other people's energy doesn't overwhelm you and you don't allow it to become that big of a part in your life. So your own energy has to become bigger and it has to become more interesting. So often we stay around people because they make us feel alive, because just being in our own energy doesn't feel fulfilling enough. I've been there, as I said, I've seen it with so many INFJs as well. This doesn't have to stay your reality. You can increase your energy. You can focus on the things that matter to you. You can evolve your life into the INFJ Epic life of your dreams. And with every single step, it's going to become easier for you to decide, do I want to absorb that energy right now or do I not? It becomes a choice and not a self-fulfilling prophecy. And lastly, number 5, waiting for the right moment. We've talked about being perfectionists, but more so than being perfectionists in our vision, it's about saying, well, I know how it's going to turn out. I know what everything will be in 5 years, in 10 years, so why even bother? If you have somebody who's, for example, not understanding your vision or your ideas or isn't appreciating you, why talk to them? Why make an effort changing anything when they will come to the conclusion in 5 years, in 10 years, and so on? The problem here is that we live so often in the future that we forget our present. And when we forget our present, we are not changing our reality towards the vision that we want. That's when cognitive dissonance happens. That's when so many INFJs get depressed because we think things are going to move into the direction that we want them to, but they're only going to become that if we take action. People don't see your vision as long as it's in your head. People cannot appreciate what you know, what you can do if they don't have evidence for it. And it's not about us doing things so other people appreciate us. It's more about understanding that we have to look at the here and now. We have to take actions now towards our vision. We cannot wait for an ideal world and that's what we want. We have to think about this is what's currently happening. This is how this person is currently treating me. Independent of the fact that you know that the ideal version of this person is loving and caring and they're just in so much pain. That doesn't change the fact that right now they're behaving in a way that is unhealthy towards you. The same thing goes for your job. Yes, you think, oh, people at some point will recognize how much I did for them. Yeah, maybe. But what's going on right now? Are you currently appreciated at your job? Are you currently making steps happen that are in your control to improve your life, your fulfillment, your family life, the way you experience every single day so you can look into the mirror and say, I'm proud of the life I'm creating? If the answer to that is not really, then trust me, there's so much you can change in this aspect. And having, for example, a community around you that continuously reminds you we're doing this together. I've seen such immense changes of people in bootcamp. It's incredible. Some people have been there for years, and there was such a reluctance in the beginning and such self-limiting beliefs and this thought of everything sucks and my reality isn't going to change. But through the constant examples we set, that person changed their approach. And it seemingly happened overnight, but it wasn't. It is the collective energy that really allowed that person to look at their life from a different perspective. So being in bootcamp, for example, is a great opportunity to allowing the temperature of the room to really influence you, to help you see everything from a perspective where you know my perspective matters. The way I see life matters. And I'm going to take a step every day, every week, every month that's going to make my life a little bit better than it was the day before. And before you know it, amazing miracles happen that you never thought possible. So if you want to join our amazing community in Bootcamp, you can do this through the link in the description. Our first live call will be January 25th. So this year, Bootcamp is open all year long, and we're going to have monthly calls. So join us before January 25th to really kick off the year with us. If you want to work with me one-on-one, that's also an option. You can also find all the information below. If you want to check out some of my other offers, it's all there for you. Wherever you're at in your journey, whatever the best way is for you to take inspired action, I got you. If you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then check out the link in the description. And I see you in the next one. Bye, guys.